Go ahead, Jamie.
Hi, Luchi. Thank you for taking the time today. Congratulations again on the win. Now you look to another game at PayPal Park against Colorado. What is it that you see and notice about this Colorado team? They clearly have struggled to put the ball in the back of the net and gave up a lot of shots last week, but I expect that they can be dangerous in the right situations. So, what are you seeing?
Yeah, look, it's really early in the season for everybody. Every team is still learning about their roster and and building a rhythm and an identity. So, look, Colorado's a very good team. They, like you said, maybe they haven't been scoring lately, but they have all the capability on their roster to be effective offensively. So I think they also have a few knocks and injuries, so they don't have maybe their full depth. We'll see what the injury report looks like before the game, but a team that can score on anybody and beat anybody. So we need to respect that and know that they gave up a result, away at Seattle, and then at home, not maximizing points. They're hungry for points. At the same time, so are we. So we need to keep thinking about not necessarily trying to match their intensity, but playing at a level and a tempo that they're going to have to worry about our intensity. So that's the focus that we have in the way we want to play, but certainly we'll recognize this is a team that attacks quickly, attacks vertically, and they're good, and we definitely won't underestimate that at all.
Next up, Marco Yakovic.
Hey, Luchi. Speaking of Colorado, they're going to probably come in as a desperate team, knowing that they haven't won a game yet. And I know it's early in the season and everything, but is that the message you're telling these guys? Is like, prepare for a desperate team to come at you this Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That team's going to play with urgency, and like you said, desperation, which is always dangerous. And we have to have our own desperation. We have to have our own urgency. We're playing in our stadium with our fans. The last game, our fans really showed an energy and an environment that helped us and pushed us to turn the game around. And we want to show energy for the fans, and they showed energy back to us. So we want to take advantage of that and grab that in these opportunities we have here at home.
Thank you, Luchi. Let's now take a question from Fabian Renkel. Fabian?
Hey, Luchi, thank you for your time. With talking a little bit about Christian Espinoza now, with Espinoza being on the brink of Quake's history with becoming the all-time assist leader, how important has Christian been to your team, your tactics, and the locker room? Thank you.
Yeah, no, look, Christian, first of all, off the field is a great human being, a family person, always caring for his teammates and supporting his teammates. Always positive and just looking at the positives in our challenges and finding the opportunities in our challenges. And he speaks English as well as his Spanish, so he can connect with a lot of people socially in the locker room with the staff. He's a leader by example. His training habits are some of the best I've ever seen in my career as a player and as a coach, in terms of just all out in training, intensity, competing, and joy. And what a great role model for our locker and for future players and generations to come in our club. So, with that foundation then and his talent on the field, he performs. He's excited for games. He's a player that likes to run in behind. He puts balls in the box. He loves to cross the ball, and we've been working on him as well, getting in the box himself, right foot, left footed shots, and scoring his goals as well when the opportunity is there. And then look defensively, I see him really open to apply the pressing triggers and cues that we've been working on, and even if it gets broken, he's getting behind the ball, getting connected with the team. So a player that just leaves everything on the field physically, mentally, and just a great player, a joy to coach.
Thank you, Luchi. Next up, Robert Jonas.
Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, Coach, for taking some time this afternoon. I'm sure you and the coaching staff have watched the tape from the game and been able to analyze things. That the game-winning goal, from my perspective, an incredibly well-worked goal. The number of players that got a touch on that ball before Carlos, knocked it home for the win there. Now that you've had a chance to look at that and the development of the offense as a whole over the preseason, these first couple weeks, what are you most encouraged with in terms of what you've seen so far, and what are some of the key developments you're still kind of asking of your offense for these coming games?
Yeah, so every game is going to pose different challenges, and we have to adapt and be tactically flexible as we study the opponents and the environments and the challenges through the season. With that, we want to balance it with our own identity and our priorities of play in terms of with the ball, breaking lines, getting in behind the last line, and doing it in a collective way with combination play, support, numbers. And then with a structure that if we lose it, then we have a press immediately after to try to get it back. And if it's not successful, we still can be organized to defend. And so that's the way we've been training in preseason, and we're going to continue to train and build and grow with that identity in ourselves. So we want to balance our preparation for the opponent. We also want to have our identity, how we want to play. And I thought that goal was a great example of like the collective combinations to be aware of teammates and share the ball and set up a teammate with a higher percentage chance to score. So, we want to grab those and use them as a reference for the rest of the season and the rest of what's ahead, so that we can always say, hey, remember that play, remember that how we combined, how we were aware of teammates, and whether it's a video clip or it was on game day and it was a winning goal, we want to grab those examples and continue to do them. And they're going to be harder to do as the season goes on, but we want to take pride in playing a collective game, a creative combination game.
And let's go back to Jamie Moore for one final question.
Hey, Luchi, thanks for taking one more. I want to talk a little bit about Daniel. Obviously, you guys gave JT and Daniel both full games in preseason, made the decision to start Daniel. Some have felt that he struggled a bit at times in the first couple games. What's your assessment in terms of, Daniel and his strengths, and what do you see in training? And also, what is it that you think he still needs to kind of adapt to in terms of MLS, in terms of playing in its environment as compared to maybe what he's been used to in Brazil? Thanks.
So first thing I want to just share my excitement of our goalkeeping group, the team of goalkeepers, and then our goalkeeper coach in Aiden Brown coming to the club, giving a new guidance and helping our goalkeepers learn about the game and improve and develop and compete. And then the addition of Daniel was, for me, it's all about adding depth, adding competition, and a player that's ready to help the team win games like he did the other night. Was it a complete performance in terms of distribution and shot blocking? No, like he definitely wants to keep working to improve and adapt to the league. But he also did make a very important save towards the end of the game that helped us win the game. So, and that's the most important role of a goalkeeper. But to me, JT and him have been competing, and as well as Emmy in the preseason, but also been sharing and showing brotherhood and support. After the Atlanta game, who was the first person to connect with Daniel and put his arm around him? It was JT. And that to me is a representation of how these guys are working together and pushing each other. And it's only going to make Daniel better, it's going to make JT better, it's going to make Emmy better, it's going to make the team better, and we're embracing that, So we're going to take it one day at a time, one week at a time, and we're definitely in a great position when we have multiple keepers that can get the job done, and we'll see how we'll see what the next. It's not an easy. Every week's a very difficult decision in that position as well as others, but that's a great problem to have, and we're going to embrace that.